Let us jump into an illustrative La Horde game already in progress. This is not a recorded match. It is a rules-accurate sequence designed to show how several cards interact across a few mid-game rounds. At the start of player turn 8, the turtle deck is at 28 life. The Untamed Forest has 26 cards left in its library, and its current mana value is 4. The player controls Leonardo, Splinter, April O'Neil, Casey Jones, Don and Leo, Mouser Foundry, High Score, and 1 robot token. Across the table, the Horde controls Rootwalla and River Boa. Overrun, Primordial Pachyderm, and Giant Growth are waiting face up. The player attacks with Casey Jones and Leonardo. Casey's attack trigger would place 1 counter on Leonardo, but High Score changes that to 2. Leonardo becomes 5 power. Casey also creates a 2 damage trigger. That damage can target the Horde, but it is non-combat damage, so it removes no cards from the Horde library. Combat is different. Leonardo hits for 5 and Casey hits for 4. The Horde does not block in the core rules, so 9 combat damage mills 9 cards. The Horde library falls from 26 to 17. Now Horde turn 5 begins. Its mana value rises from 4 to 5. Overrun is the oldest payable card, so the Horde spends all 5 mana and casts it. Rootwalla becomes 5/5 with Trample. River Boa becomes 5/4 with Trample. Both must attack. The player blocks Rootwalla with the robot. 4 damage tramples over, and the unblocked River Boa deals 5 more. The robot disappears, but because it was a token, Splinter does not trigger. The player falls from 28 life to 19. On player turn 9, Tainted Treats destroys River Boa. Its mana value was 2, so the spell also creates a food token. That is the first token event of the turn. Leonardo puts a counter on every creature, and High Score makes it 2 counters instead. Casey Jones produces several damage triggers, but again, those are non-combat damage and do not mill the Horde. Leonardo is now 7 power and Casey is 6. They attack for 13 combat damage, dropping the Horde library from 17 cards to 4. At the end step, Don and Leo blink Mouser Foundry and April. The Foundry creates 1 robot when it leaves and another when it returns. April leaving triggers Splinter and creates a mutagen token. Leonardo has already triggered this turn, so the extra tokens do not grow the team again. Horde turn 6 begins with 6 mana. Primordial Pachyderm costs 4, so the Horde casts it first. Its Enter ability gains 2 life, but the Horde has no life total, so nothing changes. With 2 mana left, the Horde casts Giant Growth. A beneficial Horde spell targets its creature with the greatest power. That is the new 4/4 Pachyderm, so it becomes 7/7. But it entered this turn and has Summoning Sickness. Rootwalla attacks alone as a 2/2 and a fresh robot blocks it. Deterministic does not always mean tactically perfect. On player turn 10, Casey attacks and adds 2 more counters to Leonardo through High Score. During the Declare Blockers step, the player uses the sneak cost of the last Ronin's technique and returns the unblocked April to hand. April is a non-token creature, so Splinter creates a mutagen. That first token event triggers Leonardo, and High Score again turns 1 team counter into 2. The technique then creates 3 1/1 Ninja Turtle spirits tapped and attacking. Leonardo, Casey, and the spirits connect for far more than the 4 cards remaining. The Horde library reaches 0, but the game is not over. Rootwalla and Primordial Pachyderm are still on the battlefield, and cards remain in the waiting zone. The player has survived these rounds and erased the future waves, but must still clear every last threat before claiming victory.